Thank you so much, students, for joining us for our 1 o'clock Zoom into Career session. We are very excited to be joined today by Ms. Courtney Murray Geary. She's the systems manager with Grizzlies Prep Charter School. She's going to share with us information about Grizzlies Prep, who they are, what they do, and what positions they currently have available and how you can apply. Students, I will also let you know that there's a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. If you do have questions along the way, you can type those in and I will read those out to our presenter towards the end of her session. And without further ado, Courtney, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Alrighty, thank you, Amy. All right, hi everyone. I am really excited to be able to talk to you all today about what we do at Grizzlies Prep and, like Amy said, what positions we have available. So today I'm going to give you an overview of our school, what we do, who we serve. Then I'll talk to you a little bit about what it's like to actually work at Grizzlies Prep. Then I'll share a little bit of information about why staff members love our school and tell you what positions we have open and how you can apply. So first, I'll start off by telling you a little bit about me. My background in terms of education is non-traditional. I am an engineer and I also have a business degree, but I have worked in education since 2012. I absolutely love it. I've been at Grizzlies Prep for 4 school years, and I actually started off as a graduate intern when I was in business school. So at first I was an intern for our principal, helping with hiring, which is actually what I do now. Then I worked on the recruitment and fundraising team as a part-time advancement coordinator. Then I got the opportunity to work full-time, and since then I have served as the systems manager at our school. That might sound a little confusing, but essentially what I do is I work on technology and data, especially data that's reported to the state so that our students can get the services that they need. I train staff members on technology. I focus on onboarding new staff members, and now I'm back on the hiring team, so full circle. You'll see these pictures of students on my screen. 2 of these pictures, especially the ones on the right, are my mentees. One set is my mentees who graduated last school year, and then another is one of my mentees who's still at Grizzlies Prep. And then on the bottom left, I got really excited when we finally had a homeroom named after my alma mater, Georgia Tech. And so when that happened a couple years ago, I made sure all the kids in that homeroom got free Georgia Tech t-shirts. So the kids don't look as excited, but I was very excited about that. So now I'll share with you a little more information about Grizzlies Prep. So you can see our mission on here. I won't actually read the whole thing, but essentially at Grizzlies Prep, we are a public charter middle school. We serve all boys, and we serve grades 5 through 8. So we're non-traditional in terms of serving all boys and only boys and serving grades 5 through 8. However, the biggest thing to know is that our mission is to make sure that students are successful for high school, college, and life, and I'll tell you a little bit more about how we do that. So we were founded in 2012, so this is the end of our 8th school year. We've had a lot of success at Grizzlies Prep. We've been a Tennessee Reward School for several school years, and what that means is we receive the highest rankings in terms of growing our students year over year. We serve about 350 boys at our school. That makes us a smaller middle school. And what's really unique is that we are not a neighborhood school. Our students come from North Memphis, Cordova, South Memphis. They come from all over the city. So not a neighborhood school, but we do really serve all of Memphis. So our principal, Miss Jasmine Hicks, this has been her first school year at the school. We are so excited that she has been our school leader. She's been in education for 8 years and spent 6 of those years at Grizzlies Prep. What's really special about her is that she is homegrown. So she is from Memphis. Born and raised, she went to undergrad at University of Memphis. And why she remains in education and why she stays at Grizzlies Prep, it's really the same reason. She wants to make sure that our young men can reach their fullest potential. She knows that certain limitations have been placed on them, and she doesn't want those to be long-lasting barriers for our students. And she also finds that she wants to hire staff members who have that same feeling. So the way that we make sure our students are successful is we have a three-pronged approach, but the most important area is, of course, excellence in academics. We fully support those excellence in academics by making sure that our students are exhibiting an excellent character, and they also have access to life opportunities, and I'll share with you how we do that. So that first area, excellence in academics, the way that we do that is focusing on our curriculum, our teachers, and then a culture of literacy. For our curriculum, we have seasoned staff members who have years and years of experience in education, and they actually develop our curriculum. They also have a very dedicated focus to analyzing data. So we use interim assessments to see how our scholars are doing, and we make regular improvements using that interim assessment data. For our teachers, we support them through coaching and ongoing development. We're really excited to have a teacher development coach who is working with us next school year. And what they will do is they will, in particular, coach teachers who are new to Grizzlies Prep and new to our culture, but also teachers who haven't previously taught before and just might need additional support. We also have a summer summit, which is called preseason. Everything is kind of in terms of basketball because of our link to the Grizzlies. And so we work on our first set of professional development there, but then we also have this focus on professional development throughout the school year. And that really allows us to hold teachers accountable to very high expectations. And finally, we focus on a culture of literacy. I'll share a little bit more about that later, but that's kind of what we really pride ourselves on at Grizzlies Prep. So character is a big focus, as you can see in the presentation on the left-hand side. You'll see scholars representing grades 5 through 8 and their Student of the Month t-shirts. This means that these students have exhibited our core values. We have 6 core values that we really focus on. Those are commitment, courage, excellence, grit, integrity, and responsibility. And so each month, teachers have the ability to nominate students to win Student of the Month based on how they have exhibited those core values. The other way that the core values come into play in terms of making sure that students really have an excellent character is we have a paycheck system or a behavior management system. So as I mentioned, we're linked to the Grizzlies, so everything has a kind of like a basketball link to it. So in our behavior management system, we have merits and demerits, but the merits are linked to buckets, which means you did something good. And the demerits are linked to turnovers, which means you've got something that you need to improve upon. And so what happens is our scholars will receive a paycheck every Thursday, which says how many merits they've received or buckets and how many demerits they've received or turnovers. And then they can have a conversation with their parents or their teachers about ways that they can improve. And finally, one of the things that you'll find that staff members at Grizzlies Prep, as well as the scholars' parents will say sets us apart, is that we focus on structure and support. And part of the way that we provide support is by having a really caring staff. So Grizzlies Prep staff members, we are not just focused on the academics. We think about the whole child, and we know that we've got to be supportive of our students to make sure that they can be successful. And last, we focus on access to opportunity. This is one of the ways that the partnership with the Grizzlies is really strong. We have access to mentoring programs through our partnership with the Grizzlies. It allows scholars to have lunchtime mentors who come in once a week They work all over the city, but they are dedicated to spending half an hour with our scholars every single week. We put together college trips every spring, and so our 8th graders are able to go out of town, go to Atlanta or Nashville or New Orleans or Chicago and get to visit the colleges there. And we also have a robust extracurricular activity program. We have debate club, chess team, we offer basketball, football, and pretty unique to the Memphis landscape, we also offer aquatics. And so we really are able to focus on the whole child by focusing on access to opportunities in that way. The most important program that we're linked to in terms of the Grizzlies partnership is the Grizzlies Scholars Program. This is a program for our highest achieving 8th graders, and the way it works is they spend every week linking up with an organization in Memphis to kind of expose them to different experiences, and they meet with mentors. They also study for the private high school entrance exam, and that means that they are eligible to attend the most elite high schools in the city. If scholars in that program meet all of their criteria, then they are eligible to receive scholarships to go to the fanciest high schools in Memphis. And we all know that, you know, what high school you go to can really have an impact on what college you go to and what happens in your future. And so we're really proud of that program. And in this picture, you could see our most recent Grizzlies Scholars class being honored at FedEx Forum at a Grizzlies game. So really unique opportunities that our scholars are able to be a part of. So why do staff members love Grizzlies Prep? I want to focus on this before I start to share a little bit about what positions we have available. So one of the things that you will find, and this is a picture from us at in-service, I'm all the way to the left, but one of the things that you will find at Grizzlies Prep is we consider ourselves to be a team and a community. We have staff members who have worked with us since year 1 or year 2 at the school, and that's pretty rare. We are all hardworking. We are all goal and growth oriented, which means that we listen to each other's feedback, and we continue to improve. We are not satisfied with just being status quo in terms of staff culture or student culture or expectations. And yeah, we just really like to focus on our areas of opportunities, and we'd like to improve. So I think that's something that sets us apart from other organizations that you can work for, as well as other charter schools in the city. One exciting thing is that from reviewing our data from this past school year, we've decided to double down on certain areas. One of those areas is literacy, and so we have decided to hire a literacy coordinator. This literacy coordinator is going to run our library this year, but also focus very deeply on choice reading and just the overall reading culture of the school. We also have a ton of reading initiatives and incentives for students. We've even had in the past, like if students meet their reading goals, they've received tickets to a Grizzlies game. And so our literacy coordinator will focus on that. We are focusing on our shared academic culture this year. We've changed some things around in terms of the leadership of the school, and our big focus is academic excellence. It's always been a focus on academics, but we are really focusing hard on academic excellence this year. And one of the ways we are going to do that is teacher development. We've hired a teacher development coordinator. And so I believe I mentioned our teacher development coordinator is going to focus on developing new teachers and providing the professional development that teachers and staff members really truly need to be successful. What makes staff members love Grizzlies Prep? They are able to develop skills to continuously improve. They impact students. They love their job. You can see on here that I've listed all sorts of support that teachers are provided. We have a big focus on observation and coaching, but what I really want to share with you is the love for the job and the love for the team. There are staff members at Grizzlies Prep whose best friends work at the school. We are a team, we are a family, we work together, we strive to achieve together. It's something that really sets us apart. And when you go to work and you have some hard days or some tough days, being able to turn to your friend who's on the team who has the same goals as you can help you get through the day. Because being in education is hard, but if you're working with great people, it makes it easier. Other thing I want to mention is we also have competitive salary and benefits, which make us competitive in comparison to Shelby County schools as a whole and other charter schools. And so now I want to encourage you to apply to join our team. These are the positions that we have open and available. 3 of these positions are instructional staff positions. So we have a lower school, so that means 5th or 6th grade, ELA teacher position that's available. Also writing position, like a writing position is available as well. We really want to change things for next year and move towards writing being a focus because writing comes up in every subject area, so it's really important. We have 1 more special education teacher position that's available, and so those are all of our full-time jobs. And then we have part-time roles. Student affairs coordinator is actually very similar to what I did when I came into Grizzlies Prep. That is a part-time role. I would recommend that in particular for folks who plan to go to grad school full-time next year or are not really sure what you want to be doing in your future. And if you have some administrative experience, the student affairs coordinator would be a great role for you. This person will work on the team that focuses on family engagement. And then we have 2 part-time teacher aide positions that are available. These teacher aides will work to support teachers in the classroom. They aren't actually teaching, but they might help in terms of executing projects or teamwork that's being done in the classroom, or they might help support their grade level team on new initiatives that are taking place. So think of them as like the ultimate person who is helping with classroom support. And then finally, if any of those positions or if the culture of our school is something that really resonates with you, then I would encourage you to apply. You can apply to our school by visiting tinyurl.com/GrizPrepHires. You will see our open positions available there. I encourage you to connect with us on social media. As we've all been home doing remote learning, our staff members have been taping encouraging videos for our scholars. And if you get a chance, especially on Facebook or Instagram, you could see some of those pictures, which also gives you a sense of who's working on our team and what they're kind of all about. And then I know that now we're going to open up for questions, but if there's any questions that I don't get to, or you want to learn a little bit more about our school, please email us at careers@grizzliesprep.org. This is not an unmonitored inbox. We read it every day, and we are more than willing to answer any questions that you have. So that's it for my presentation, and now I'm available to answer questions.
Thank you so much, Courtney. Okay, you have your first question. Students, please do continue to type in those questions and I'll read them off for Courtney. Your first question is, what are the prerequisites for the current openings that you have?
Yeah, I can definitely answer that question. Okay, so for these positions that we have, the prerequisite for ELA and writing would be a teacher license. And so if you are about to graduate from a 4-year education degree, then you would likely be in a licensure program and could be on the verge of receiving your license. So that would be the qualification there. If you have student teaching experience through your education program, we're not deterred by first-year teachers. We are willing to hire and work with first-year teachers. For the special education teacher role, we would like to have folks who have a little bit more experience, just because there's also a case management component there to serve students. And you would need a special education licensure there. For the student affairs coordinator, we want folks who have a 4-year degree. And then if you have experience in your summers or as an intern or a co-op student in working in an administrative role, you would have experience to be a student affairs coordinator. They're essentially supporting a director. And then finally, for a teacher aide, the qualifications, I believe, are to have an associate's degree and just experience working with student populations. So yeah.
Great. I have another question here. Someone says that they saw a lot of the openings on Indeed. Is that the best way to apply? What do you recommend is the best way to apply for these openings?
Yeah. So for our purposes, I would say the best way to apply is to go to tinyurl.com/GrizzPrepHires. From Indeed, I need to do some additional funneling to get folks into our pipeline. But if you apply directly through this website or through our school website, you'll kind of be first in line for our position.
Great. All right, students, what other questions do you have for Courtney? We have a couple of minutes left in the session. Courtney, I have a question.
Okay.
So what's kind of the typical career path? And so once, say, a student gets their first job out of college with Grizzlies Prep, where do you see a lot of people going? Do they become recruiters such as you? I mean, do they stay within the system? Kind of walk us through that.
Yeah, so I would say the most typical career path does come from being an intern or a part-time employee first. So we have kind of like a teacher track for those staff members seeking instructional roles. You can be an intern who kind of pops into classes and does some student teaching at our school. Then if they do well, they can be promoted to being a full-time teacher. And then after several years, the next step would be to be a teacher leader. So we just recently announced all of the folks who became teacher leaders. Those are either folks who are leading a grade level team and supporting their grade level team, or folks who are content leaders and supporting all of the teachers within a content area. And then after several years of doing that, the next step would be to become a leader of the school. So we have leadership positions in content, more administrative functions or logistical functions of the school, leaders who run scholar support and make sure our students have services. And you'll also find that, similar to myself, if you're on the non-instructional path, I mean, I came in as an intern who then was a part-time employee, who then was a full-time employee. And sometimes the jobs shift as the needs shift at the school, but coming in on a part-time job early on can really set you up for success. It's seeing if you are a good fit for our school, and if you really enjoy being at the school as well. But yeah, so a lot of folks come in part-time, but whether or not you're part-time or full-time, that's kind of how the trajectory goes.
Okay, great. Students, any last questions? We have 1 minute left. Courtney, do you have any last minute words of wisdom or additional information you'd like to share?
Yeah, for me, and also, I didn't mention this, I don't know why, but I'm a University of Memphis grad, go Tigers. For me, when I was in you all's shoes in terms of getting ready to leave undergrad or getting ready to leave grad school, I felt overwhelmed. I didn't know what I really wanted to do. The biggest thing I would focus on right now is working for an organization where your values are aligned, whether that organization is in the private sector or public sector like Grizzlies Prep. If your values are aligned and people really treat their staff members well, you could do pretty much anything. And I would also encourage you to think a lot about interning, being a graduate intern or being a part-time employee, just to really see if the work that you're interested in is really the work that you enjoy doing. And then those full-time opportunities will become available to you. So yeah, that's what I would suggest.
Great. Thank you so much, Courtney. I know the students are very grateful for hearing from you today. Students, this session, as well as all of these sessions, will be posted on your school's career services websites. And if you have questions for Courtney that you didn't get a chance to ask today, just please reach out to your career services representatives and they can connect you. Thank you all so much. We'll see you back here at 1:30.
Thank you.